Greetings, Earthlings. If you're a social media influencer, a content creator like me, or just a heavy social media user in general, you've probably noticed a lot of the changes going on in the landscape of social media lately. Let's talk about that. Stay tuned for a recap of last week's hilarious episode of FX's Atlanta. Plus, the fictional nation of Wakanda and the Black Panther movie have made headlines once again. Find out why on this week's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly.
This ain't no freestyle, bitch. This that he style. Hey, it's your boy Spayce here, man. I got a new podcast out I want y'all to subscribe to, bruh. It's called Urban Nerd Weekly, available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play Music. My
back up in the shit. I just like some bitch. I'm about to hit the stick, so go and follow me on Twitter. Now watch me crank that urban. Now watch me crank that urban. Watch me crank that urban. Now watch me crank that urban. Yeah.
What's happening? What's chatting? It's your boy Spayce, and like I said, welcome to this week's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly. Thank y'all for tuning in, click and play, logging in, whatever you did to get here. Appreciate you. Like I said, man, this week's episode, we focusing mainly on the ongoings of the social media landscape right now. But first things first, I would love to announce that the fictional nation of Wakanda, T'Challa, Black Panther, is officially the best-selling superhero movie in the United States of America's history. It is officially the best-selling superhero movie that has ever come out of America. Officially. Say they can't did it, they did that there. You know what I mean? So I don't think I even need to announce the implications behind the fact that the very first predominantly black film, if it was a boxer, it would have won by unanimous decision. That's how fire this movie is. I don't think y'all understand now. Worldwide thumbed up. And I love that this is just another great example of how as people of color can break barriers the way that we do. Wakanda forever. Now, I'd like to take this time. Make sure you guys head on over to spacewashere.com. SPAYCEWUZHERE.com. Man, make sure you guys check out all the content I got available on my website, man. Got every other episode of Urban Nerd Weekly. So if you have something that you wanted to check out but haven't had time to, you can head on over there as a convenient way. If you're not subscribed, or even if you are subscribed, it's got nice little pictures and nice little descriptions and links and clicks and stuff to play around on spacewashere.com. Not to mention, all of my parodies are available on there as well. Plus, my YouTube videos are gonna be on there as soon as they hit the net. And you get the connect feed to all my social media pages. So if you want to hit my Twitter, my Facebook, the Instagram, the Snapchat, you can access all that from spacewashere.com. Not to mention, it would be awesome sauce if you guys join the email list. That way you can get the blog posts, every single one of them, straight to your email so you can read it fresh press every single time. You ain't got to worry about me bombarding you like, hey, check out a new post. You get it right to your email. And when I got a bunch of bonuses coming up, all the people on my email list will be definitely the first to get those. Sometimes exclusively so. So make sure you guys do that so you can be on that team, man. Now, social media has been one of the most shape-shifting entities since its inception, basically. You know, started way back during the whole, Black Planet days, which is around the time of AIM, AOL Instant Messenger and Yahoo Messenger. That was basically the social media of its day, the chat rooms. Everybody would just kind of get online and randomly chat. It was kind of, if you want to get a well-rounded perspective, it was very groundbreaking, but a lot of the times it was really just kind of boring. I don't know. This might have just been my personal preference. Back then, I was more into video games more so than like chatting online. And like when I wanted to talk to people, I would just go outside. But that was like the 90s when it was like still cool to like play outside all day long until the street lights came on and shit. So, you know, that's how that was. But now, you know, then of course, the MySpace era hit the net, which was right around the exact same time as YouTube. And then, you know, things shifted a little bit more and Twitter and Facebook kind of took over became the faces of social media, and then Instagram popped up and then everything started changing. You know, after Instagram, then it came to Vine and Periscope, Snapchat, Musically, just all kinds of stuff now. And now, you know, the bigger juggernauts of the game, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Instas, they all have been going through a sort of metamorphosis in the way that they're structuring and doing things lately. And you know, a lot of people like me, you know, we had to stay abreast on these type of things. And yes, I just found an excuse to use the word abreast in the sentence. But you got to stay up on this type of stuff because it has to go into your business model and stuff. And, you know, man, ever since like January, it seems like all the companies have been going ape shit. 2018 seems to be all about big changes in social media and the tech world. If you listen to episode 7 of Urban Nerd Weekly, then you already heard about how YouTube switched their game up. It used to be, if you got 10,000 views, you could monetize, aka make partner with your channel on YouTube.com. Well, now you need 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers to accomplish the same feat. Not to mention they've got much stricter guidelines and rules about what content's allowed to get monetized since the whole debacle with PewDiePie and Logan Paul. What's his name? Paul Logan. I don't know. I don't follow the guy, but I do know he makes bank on YouTube. And not to mention, you know, since we're getting into this, since the incident happened at the suicide forest in Japan, the guy's got over 93,000 new subscribers. And that's just yet another piece of proof that controversy does, in fact, sell. And then on episode 8 of the show, you know, the focus was on Mark Zuckerberg changing the Facebook algorithm to feature more posts from friends and family more so than brands and publishers and such. So that, you know, your home news feed would have more pictures of like family, friends, and their status updates. It looked more like, hey, this is, you know, the original thing that Facebook was for, instead of all these, you know, viral videos that come from, you know, like pages and content producers and, you know, basically guys like me making shit and asking you guys to check it out, you know. And, you know, it's not like he doesn't want you guys to check that stuff out. It's just that Facebook is originally, you know, the intended purpose was to connect, you know, people. So he was trying to help reestablish Facebook's mission, keep people connected, and he wanted to decrease the influence and spread of fake news and clickbait posts, you know, which everybody hates. It's just so fucking spammy, and it's the scourge of the internet. Spam is, because nobody likes it, and it's just fucking everywhere. And, you know, not to mention with this whole, you know, after it was announced that Robert Mueller would be investigating the Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential elections, the more prominent social media sites became instant targets because it's suspected that their platforms were manipulating the way that allowed the Russians to sway the way that the election was decided. Now, Facebook, of course, being the biggest monster, was of course the first hit with the bomb when they bombed. They were the first to get hit when the bomb dropped at Cambridge Analytica, a company based out of Cambridge University, is misusing the data of over 50 million users. Now, this is a really, really big problem because, first off, 50 million people is a lot. That's enough to have an effect on a presidential election. So as we discovered on the last episode of the show, one of Cambridge Analytica's clients include the Trump general elections campaign. Dun 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 dun. I should have had a fucking sound effect for that shit. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress, guys. The internet ain't through with me yet. But this is a big blow because it forced the book to make more changes to the site right after they had just done all that, and it followed a $49 billion drop in market value, which is like 8%, which is a big fucking deal in case you didn't know, okay? And not to mention, it sparked the outrage with users with the hashtag delete Facebook movement that got so severe that Twitter users began calling out the time for MySpace to come and save the day. There was even a meme of Tom dressed as one of the, how like in Star Wars when the Jedis die or when they've been gone for a long time and they like have on like the full Jedi with the headgear and they just kind of looking like real chill, like on some pimp shit kind of. And then somebody had a sidekick with a MySpace emblem on it and it was handing it to him like, we need you, Tom. And on some real nigga shit, I'm just saying, things kind of made more sense when MySpace time and fucking MySpace was the king of social media. I'm just saying. All the sites we have now seem to be like little bits and pieces of what MySpace used to be. It's like Facebook is the main infrastructure part. Twitter is the part that allows you to update a status. Instagram is the pictures that you post. SoundCloud is a little music, like basically having a musician account on there. And YouTube is still around doing the same shit it was doing then, except for everybody else but MySpace now. However, that was a little tangent I went off on. But seriously though, Tom, if you're listening, help! About a month ago, Twitter announced some changes in its API. And, if a lot of people don't know what API stands for, because I'm not going to pretend like I've always known. I just found out like 2 years ago what API was, even though I've probably seen that acronym for the last 12, 13 years of my life. But it stands for Application Programming Interface. And about a month ago, like I said, Twitter announced some changes to its API and to the homepage algorithm that went into effect like earlier this week, actually. Twitter, however, is more focused on deck tweets, bot accounts, and automated activity. I mentioned on last week's episode about how Twitter routinely sweeps inactive accounts and ones with suspected bot activity. Well, now they've cracked down and doubled down even more on those. Plus, they're really, really cracking down on that the old follow-unfollow trick where you follow like 100 or 1,000 people and then 24 hours later, whoever's not following back, you unfollow them. Or sometimes people just follow a whole bunch of people for like a week and then, a couple of weeks later figuring that, you've got a couple of new followers since then, they'll unfollow you because most people, unless you do, you're a social media influencer or you're a content creator or you're someone just obsessed with your follower count or your follower to following ratio, you're not going to check on that, constantly to be, seeing who's unfollowing you and stuff like that, unless, of course, you got what used to be called the Who's Unfollow Me app. I think it's called Status Brew now. But anyway, they cracking down on all that. Plus, they reducing the visibility of the same tweets from multiple accounts. And when I say that, I mean like simultaneous identical posts. You know what I'm talking about? Like 4 or 5 accounts post the exact same post at the same time. And then retweet each other, and it's got substantially similar content on both accounts. They're getting rid of automated and simultaneous retweets, likes, and follows. Basically, some people have programs to where every time they tweet something, they have a bunch of accounts that are automatically gonna retweet and like it, and then a bunch of other accounts that automatically follow when they're created. Bot accounts, of course. And they're going to be putting heat to the apps such as TweetDeck and Status Brew to comply and Hootsuite to comply with these new rules, or they're gonna be booted from Twitter's API. They're gonna be totally cut off. The only exceptions are apps that broadcast weather, emergency, or other public service announcements of broad community interest, like earthquakes, tsunamis, killers on the loose, somebody running around chopping dicks off, or some crazy shit like that. Shit like that, yeah, I don't mind a double post of that, triple post that shit. If my house is about to be blown the fuck down by a tornado, y'all can spam the fuck out of all of my social media. I don't give a damn. This is not only in response to the election scandal, though it does have a bit to do with it, as far as Twitter's concerned, but also the general clutter on the level of spam created by the abuse of social media management tools has become a huge problem for Twitter over the years as time has gone on. And, any Twitter user knows what I'm talking about. You get on Twitter and then you got you might be following hundreds of people, but there's about 7 people you follow who usually dominate your timeline because they're either constantly tweeting, which I'm fine with those people. That's a lot of engagement. Sometimes it's really interesting. Usually people who tweet a lot, just organically tweeting a lot, have some interesting shit to say every now and then. But you know what I mean? People who post shit, people who trying to promote parties and promote their music, and they just spamming your shit. They were posting the same thing over and over and over and over again. Me personally, I post my shit. I post my stuff, but I'm not gonna, hit you with the same link 50 times a day, all day long like these guys do. I'm gonna hit you with a breakfast, lunch, and dinner tweet of my latest episode. Let you guys know about whatever my parodies are in between. And if I got, anything else popping off, I talk about that. Plus, I'm usually reposting just general funny shit or, Urban Nerd Weekly interesting based stuff on my Twitter feed when I'm not just posting funny shit. So, I feel like there's a balance that can be had even if you are trying to push a brand. Ironically, anyone with an eye for numbers knows, they're not going to do this too quickly. And here's why. Fake profiles make up roughly 15% of Twitter accounts and activity. Eradicating them in one foul, swift sweep would drop the user base by about 49 million accounts. If they did that, Twitter might not be able to sustain the market value drop that such a rapid deflation would create. So it sort of seems that they might need the fake accounts just as much almost as the users who created them for their own little agendas. Which I'd like to mention that, that's part of why this is such suspicious activity, because 49.50 billion, that's about the same number of accounts that we just discussed were being manipulated over on the Facebook platform. So it makes it seem as though it's even more likely that if the Russians did have something to do with it, this is even more proof, because that's a pretty consistent number across the 2 top tier social media sites there are out there. Now, although this next part is not in response to this election-related activity, Instagram has been tweaking their algorithm like crazy. Ever since the very last week of December, early January, it seems like every 4, 5, 6 weeks, Instagram is tweaking especially the homepage algorithm again and again and again. And now Instagram is back. The homepage feed is back to chronological order, basically, just like Twitter, like it was originally. And almost like they could have just not did all that. And even as I'm recording this episode of Urban Nerd Weekly right now, I'm still getting updates that are telling me that there's even new little changes to the algorithm where, it's not just engagement that boosts your posts anymore. Because now it's okay, if you want to, here's a little tip. So, social media tips from Urban Nerd Weekly right quick. If you guys want your post to get some boost in it, you're going to have to get, likes and comments within about 45 minutes of the post going up. everything after that is just basically vanity. Like it'll look nice, you know, when people discover it later on, but any activity after that is not really gonna boost it much in the algorithm. Now, I don't know why Instagram seems to keep doing this. Maybe it's trying to respond to the still massive growing user base that they have, especially since, you know, I'm pretty willing to bet that a lot of the, you know, mass exodus of Facebook is heading over to Instagram activity. But, you know, it's just one of those things that you basically, if you're a user and you just kind of got to ride out the storm, because Instagram is where it's popping it online right now, whether you're a business or a brand or both. Well, if you're a big, well, you know, because some people, you know, sometimes you just got a reputation online. You don't have a business going on, but some of y'all do got a brand, especially y'all Instagram quote unquote models, if that's what you call yourself. Speaking of mass exodus, ever since Snapchat's latest upgrade, usership has been dropping it like it's fucking hot. Majority of the users are completely disliking the new changes in the interface, and not to mention between Rihanna and Kendall Jenner, a fucking Kardashian, you know, people have been like dropping Snapchat left and right. You know what I'm saying? Is, you know, everybody's leaving, and basically I think a lot of people are going back into the other sites, and a lot of people are kind of sitting at this point waiting for that new popping social media thing that's gonna be next up to take everybody's interest. I myself personally am kind of looking forward to seeing where the wave is going, being that, you know, I came up in a time where I actually got to see all this, you know, get started, and, you know, now taking advantage of it in my own little way for my comedic purposes, to make everybody laugh and to nerd out about this motherfucking shit. But yeah, that's my spiel on the social media changes. And speaking of social media, all those sites I just named, I'm gonna need you to like follow me on all of them: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All either / or at Spayce was here. Spayce was here is the hashtag all across all my social media. It's kind of like my little signature. And of course, on the plummeting Snapchat, if you do still love it, I am still on it. And you can follow me, A1 Spayce, add me on there, A1 SPAYCE, SPAYCEWZHERE, when you're looking for Spayce was here. Also, if you guys have not yet, or if you're trying to let a friend know how to do it, please make sure you guys subscribe on iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, Blueberry, and many more places wherever podcasts are available. And if you're doing it on iTunes or Google Play Music, please make sure you leave a review and leave a star rating. Let me know, and the internet and these companies know how you guys loving Urban Nerd Weekly, man, so we can boost the show up in the ratings, and we can grow our little community here. We can get some real things popping, because I got some gamer swag that I'm gonna be wanting to give away in the next couple of months, and I need the listeners to be jumping so you guys can figure out how to get a hold of this stuff, man. I don't want to hold on to it. I want to give it away, but I can't let it go until I hit certain goals. So you guys make sure you help me reach that, so you can help me help you. Now, before we get up out of here, I can't end this episode without talking about the last episode of FX's Atlanta, called Helen. And I'm assuming it's called Helen because it took place in Helen, Georgia. Ern and Van took a little road trip out to Helen, Georgia, looks like. And it was some kind of like German Oktoberfest looking type deal. It was really, really weird. It was really Germany, and it was crazy because, Ern felt out of place being like one of the only black dudes. Well, he was the only black dude there, and it was only like two black women there. And yeah, it's kind of weird because it's almost like you get that reminder that Ern's kind of never fucking comfortable anywhere. He was surrounded by white people, he wasn't comfortable. Surrounded by niggas, kind of not that comfortable. I bet if he was surrounded by like a bunch of black dudes, that white dudes trapped in black dudes' bodies, he probably, all of them would just be unfucking comfortable with one another. It was a really hilarious episode, but it was a bit more dramatic than the last couple of episodes. In that, first off, I'm just glad that, you know, am I the only one glad to see Van back, right? I mean, that's awesome. However, you know, the relationship took a bit of a turn. You know, they hit a little milestone in the relationship, or should I say block, where, you know, they begin to question the direction that the relationship's going in, or more so Van, and, you know, so then they end up fucking playing ping pong to decide how the relationship was gonna go, basically. And then, you know, it kind of ends on a somber note because you don't see the end of the ping pong game. However, you see them not, like, they were sleeping in the same bed, but they wasn't fucking sleeping together. It's a difference, trust me. I've been there before. And yeah, when they got back to the A, she got up in her crib, and then Van was like, okay, I guess I'll pick up Lottie from my mom's house. And he dipped. So I'm assuming, I need to really get some sound effects, that, you know, Van and Ern are no longer in a relationship together, which sucks diggity dick. You know, it's sad. Van's awesome. I hope this is not the end of the Ern Van saga as far as ATL, the TV show, goes. If you guys have some moments that you like to share when you were watching Atlanta, make sure you hit the comments, man, and let me know what some of your favorite moments were from the last episode or any episode. You know, if you have a favorite episode you just want to, you know, give a little spiel about, go ahead and drop that on in there too. You know, here at Urban Nerd Weekly, we love hearing about all of the shit that you guys like, because we like all of the same stuff. And if we, you know, then that's how we can put each other on to shit, you know. Might be a show out there that you guys love that I'm not even checking out, so you can hit the comments with that too, man. And make sure, like I said, you know, you guys get real prolific with it. Stay tuned to next week's episode, because we're going to be talking about this cool ass Nintendo Switch Smash Brothers competition coming up in June. But it's not going to be by me, it's someone else's competition. However, I got some exclusive details you guys are definitely going to want to check out. So, but the only way you can do that is if you guys check out the next episode. Take a second to let you guys know that my buddy Von Roberts' podcast called Keeping It G episode just dropped yesterday. So if you guys want to know, you know, check out Friends of Spaceship, check out my boy Von Roberts' Keep It G podcast, and you can find him on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud as well. You know, it's been fun, guys. I'm glad you guys checked out the episode. Thanks for tuning in. I love all my listeners, and please, I don't know why I said please, that's not a word, unless you're Asian, and then you can get away with that. I'm not like making fun of Asians though, it's just, you know, an accent thing. However, pretty please spread the word about Urban Nerd Weekly, man. My name is Spaceship. They call me Spayce. Online, my signature is Spayce was here. See, because my name is Spayce, and see, I was here, but now I'm